Art is not a treasure in the past or an importation from another land, but part of the present life of all living and creating peoples. Are you laboring under the impression that I read these memoranda of yours? I can't even lift them. The truth is found when men are free to pursue. Far more difficult still, to leave unsaid the wrong thing at the tempting moment. 'Tis a great confidence in a friend to tell him your faults, greater to tell him his. The person who deserves most pity is a lonesome one on a rainy day who doesn't know how to read.
Dost thou love life? Then do not squander time, for that's the stuff life is made of. Early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Never confuse motion with action.
Educate your children to self-control, to the habit of holding passion and prejudice and evil tendencies subject to an upright and reasoning will, and you have done much to abolish misery from their future and crimes from society. He that is good for making excuses is seldom good for anything else. Whatever is begun in anger ends in shame. Do not anticipate trouble or worry about what may never happen. Keep in the sunlight. Whoever would overthrow the liberty of a nation must begin by subduing the freeness of speech. The heart of a fool is in his mouth, but the mouth of a wise man is in his heart. Be slow in choosing a friend, slower in changing. We must all hang together, or assuredly we shall all hang separately. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. For the want of a nail the shoe was lost, for the want of a shoe the horse was lost, for the want of a horse the rider was lost, for the want of a rider the battle was lost, for the want of a battle the kingdom was lost, and all for the want of a horseshoe nail. To find out a girl's faults, praise her to her girlfriends. Wish not so much to live long as to live well. Tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn. Patience can have what he will. You may delay, but time will not. A penny saved is a penny earned. Many people die at 25 and aren't buried until they are 75. In wine there is wisdom, in beer there is freedom, in water there is bacteria. Being ignorant is not so much a shame as being unwilling to learn. Well done is better than well said. An investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. Hide not your talents, they for use were made. It is the first responsibility of every citizen to question authority. 3 may keep a secret, if 2 of them are dead. Instead of cursing the darkness, light a candle. If all printers were determined not to print anything till they were sure it would offend nobody, there would be very little printed. I am for doing good to the poor, but I think the best way of doing good to the poor is not making them easy in poverty, but leading or driving them out of it. I observed that the more public provisions were made for the poor, the less they provided for themselves, and of course became poorer. And, on the contrary, the less was done for them, the more they did for themselves, and became richer. The Constitution only guarantees the American people the right to pursue happiness. You have to catch it yourself. Be at war with your vices, at peace with your neighbors, and let every new year find you a better man. Love your enemies, for they tell you your faults. He that falls in love with himself will have no rivals. There never was a good war or a bad peace. Better slip with foot than tongue. Look before, or you'll find yourself behind. Don't throw stones at your neighbors if your own windows are glass. He that would live in peace at ease must not speak all he knows or judge all he sees. Well done is better than well said. A right heart exceeds all. What you seem to be really. A true friend is the best possession. Dost thou love life? Then do not squander time, for that's the stuff life is made of. When you're good to others, you're best to yourself. Pardoning the bad is injuring the good. Hide not your talents, they for use were made. What's a sundial in the shade? Glass, china, and reputation are easily cracked and never well mended. What more valuable than gold? Diamonds. Than diamonds? Virtue. Search others for their virtues, thyself for thy vices. It is better to take many injuries than to give one. Favor comes because for a brief moment in the great space of human change and progress some general human purpose finds in him a satisfactory embodiment. We must lay hold of the fact that economic laws are not made by nature. They are made by human beings. If we can boondoggle ourselves out of this depression, that word is going to be enshrined in the hearts of the American people for years to come. When you're testing to see how deep water is, never use 2 feet. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Life's biggest tragedy is that we get old too soon and wise too late. Trouble knocked at the door, but, hearing laughter, hurried away. Happiness depends more on the inward disposition of mind than on outward circumstances. If you would not be forgotten, as soon as you are dead and rotten, either write things worth reading, or do things worth writing. Keep your eyes wide open before marriage, half shut afterwards. In the affairs of this world men are saved, not by faith, but by the lack of it. Who is wise? He that learns from everyone. Who is powerful? He that governs his passions. Who is rich? He that is content. Who is that? Nobody. Be civil to all, sociable to many, familiar with few, friend to one, enemy to none. My refusing to eat flesh occasioned an inconveniency, and I was frequently chided for my singularity, but, with this lighter repast, I made the greater progress, for greater clearness of head and quicker comprehension. Flesh-eating is unprovoked murder. We do not stop playing because we grow old because we stop playing. If a man could have half of his wishes, he would double his troubles. Speak ill of no man, but speak all the good you know of everybody. While we may not be able to control all that happens to us, we can control what happens inside us. Never leave till tomorrow that which you can do today. The best thing to give to your enemy is forgiveness, to an opponent, tolerance, to a friend, your heart, to your child, a good example, to a father, deference, to your mother, conduct that will make her proud of you, to yourself, respect, to all others, charity. Work as if you were to live 1,000 years, play as if you were to die tomorrow. It takes many good deeds to build a good reputation, and only one bad one to lose it.